And we're live, and I want to welcome you to the Barry Cunningham Show. Today it's June 17th, it's 5:30, and I'm just ecstatic. I couldn't be happier right now. It's amazing. It brought tears to my eyes today. I didn't know what really I should do to commemorate this memorable occasion. I've waited my entire life. I've had tears of anxiety for decades, and today it was all solved. I don't have to worry anymore because Aunt Jemima pancake syrup is no longer going to be Aunt Jemima pancake syrup. Oh, yay! That makes all the difference in the world. Sorry for being a little bit of a sarcastic ass, if you might want to say, but I'm over it. And for many videos on another channel, I talked about all of the crazy wokeness and all of the crazy coronavirus stuff. But I've got to bring it down to this real estate channel today, just for a little bit, so you can tell that I'm a little bit kind of antsy because I'm going to basically blow your mind with some things here. And if you're someone who doesn't believe the truth, if you're a conspiracy theorist and you think that everything that the government, especially locally, says is a bunch of crap, go ahead and log off now. We'll give you a chance to close your browser and move on. Okay, so the rest of you who've got some sort of sanity still, resemblance of sanity still in your mind after going through this craziness, it's only going to get worse. And I told you yesterday when I talked about, what was going to go on and who was going to know what the valuation of properties was going to be, and you're going to need a crystal ball because no one can foretell what's going to happen in the next 30, 60, or 90 days. And anyone who tells you that they do know is flat out lying to you. There's no way, because right now it is June 17th. We have 5 months leading up to the election, which is 150 days, 140 depending on how you're counting. And we are going to see the most intense, bar none, the most intense attempt to gaslight you into wokeness. Now, I'm not here to be political. I'll save that for other discussions. I'm talking business. I'm talking your dollars. I'm talking money. Money. Let's see if this thing works here. Hopefully my cha-ching button just went off. I'm here to talk to you about money, real estate investing, real estate development, buying and selling properties as a realtor. If you have a property to sell, it is going to most definitely be impacted in the next 30, 60, 90, 120 days. It's inevitable. There is a massive amount of force that is being exerted upon the public to scare you, to threaten you, to just make you go out of your mind. You don't know what to believe. You think everyone's lying to you. So cold facts are that we need to be prepared as property buyers and sellers and investors and developers to make sure we have the most accurate data in front of us. We can't control some of the outside forces that may be in play, and they're going to be voluminous. But what we can control is how we're going to react as those forces move forward. But you have to, again, disconnect this, shut it down if you don't want to hear it. But we have to recognize that these external forces are out to hurt us. They are not here to help us from a, how can I dare say this, capitalist point of view. They don't want you to make money. They don't want you to be successful. Unless, of course, you play their game, which we're going to talk about today as well. See, there's these little pockets of wokeness that are lined with gold. But you're not going to know where to find them. They're not going to tell you unless you seek them out. I'll tell you a little bit today, but you're going to have to do some real homework. but there's some serious money to be made. You know, I've said it all along. I don't know if I have the picture here in the dashboard. I don't have it queued up. But like I've said, the time to buy is when blood is running in the streets. It's been running in the streets for the last month or two. It's going to be a tidal wave running up to the election. There are going to be people absolutely freaking out. That I'm sure of. Which side, we don't know, maybe both sides. But there is going to be an unbelievable freak out. Now, if you know what you're doing and you know how to position yourself, you are going to profit. I'm telling you right now, it is coming. So, just so you know, my name is Barry Cunningham, and boom, this one, there we go. Have to edit that out afterwards. Didn't want you to see that other business. I don't care. We all run more than one business, but I'm Barry Cunningham. I purveyor of Real Estate Radio USA and Barry Cunningham Enterprises. I buy and sell real estate, have been doing so for 25 plus years, have been involved in over 1,000 plus closed transactions, have developed a few properties. I want to get back into that. No condo conversions this time, actually redevelopment mostly. But now let's talk about what's going on in this market. And this is only deniable if you choose to be a naysayer, if you choose not to believe what's going on. So, I subscribe to the Sun Sentinel email blast. I don't care about the newspaper. I like to see what they're sending out to people. And every single day, the Sun Sentinel, which is obviously has an influence with that they're trying to put upon people who read that newspaper. There's a misnomer. And every single day, the Sun Sentinel sends out this email, not this particular one, but something very similar, where they say something about the coronavirus. And today's June 17th, as you can see, in today's missive, today's episode, today's fear missive, we can call it, they want to go ahead and tell you that Florida sees the second biggest jump in new corona infection, 2,600 in a day. Oh my God, we're all going to die. You read that and it's like, oh my God, it's going crazy down here. So let me go into a few other things. Then today on Twitter, I'm going to have to blow this up so everybody can see. Today on Twitter, we had the rest of the naysayers coming out, and the hashtag Florida coronavirus was trending. And here with the Florida coronavirus, we've got every nut job and their mom telling us that 28 new 100 corona cases on a single day. We're all going to die. I know our elected officials are awful here in Florida, but please don't cheer for our deaths. Half the employees at a local bar have tested positive coronas. We're going to die. And on and on. Florida do not take corona as serious as other states, blah, blah, blah. But then when you start looking at some of these people and you're like, she's got 42 followers and she's from New York. Why do I care what she has to say? But nonetheless, when you see all this stuff, it's constant. Same number of tests, 2,000 more people diagnosed in a day. And then there was a report that also came out today that Orlando Airport, MCO, had an amazing 50% infection rate, that they basically had tested 520 people and 260 were positive. Then they come to find out that the guy who actually made the tweet, he kind of lied. He goes, my earlier report of half of Orlando airport workers testing positive was based on an inaccurate report to the media. The 260 cases were cumulative since March. I have deleted the earlier post. Nobody sees the retraction. On Twitter, everyone just feeds on the immediate. Oh my God, we're all going to die. We're not looking for the retraction. They don't see the retraction. It's all fake BS. I said it. I didn't mention any political party. I'm just saying the news is full of crap, even down here to our Sun Sentinel. I'm going to go back to that Sun Sentinel piece. I want you to see something. Like I said, every day I get an email from them. And every day it talks about the jump in cases. So I have a question for you. How many people are dying? I mean, anybody can be sick. There are going to be 2,600 people sick in a state of 21 million people. There's more people here than basically in New York. 21 million people in the state of Florida. 2,600 people were, quote, infected. How many people died? I can't find that anywhere on Twitter. I've looked, I've known this site inside and out because I have followed this site and talked about it in videos for months now. And I know exactly what the data is, and it's right here in public, and you all can actually begin looking at it if you really want to know the information, if you really care to know the truth. Like I said, if you don't believe the data, go ahead and unplug and cancel. This is for the smart people who want to make money. So in any event, let me take you through some of this. So this thing is updated every single day at 11 o'clock in the morning. And let me just refresh so I can show you that I have today's data that we're going to be looking at. And so as of today, you can see these two charts on the side here. Let me see if I can blow them up, because these are great importance for you to take a look at. All right, we refreshed here. Oh, I went too far. I went too big. Okay, let me come back. All right, this is as big as I can get it without it going away, but you can look it up yourself. Wow, the cases indeed have been going up for, I'd say, the last, since June 1st, the cases have exponentially gone up. We went from having, on June 1st, 600 cases to June 16th, 2,500 cases. So someone who knows a little bit of math goes, wow, the cases have exploded. The cases have gone nuts. We're all going to die. It's just going up in exponential time frames. 4x the number of cases. Oh my God. What are we going to do? I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. You're going to ignore this shit and go live your life. And I'm going to tell you why right now. So I got to get my big head out the way. See this chart down here? Same time frame? This is the chart of how many people have died from the coronavirus. So while this has gone up exponentially, look how many people have died. In fact, yesterday, 6 people in the entire state of Florida died from coronavirus yesterday. God bless them. But it's 6. 21 million people in this state, and 6 people have died. But you haven't heard that, have you? Nobody has mentioned that to you. They haven't shown you that as the caseload has gone up, because obviously more testing has taken place, the death rate has plummeted. Absolutely plummeted. Almost to be non-charted. 6 yesterday, 10 the day before that, 12 the day before that. In fact, the opposite has happened. Think about that. As cases have increased, the deaths have dropped. Nobody's reporting that. Not even our own Sun Sentinel. They're letting people go hog wild thinking everything is crazy down here. I got some more stuff I want to show you. Check this out. So when you go into the testing, and it says, we've had 82,000 people who have tested positive in the state of Florida. What kind of ratio is that? We've had 1.4 million people test negative. 82 positive, 1.4 million negative. Bet you never heard that stat either, have you? Nope, not going to find it anywhere. Or how about this one? Out of all the testing, only 5.6% people are becoming testing positive. When I first started charting this, it was every day. It was 11, 12, 13. I saw it as high as 14 one day. Now it's down to 5.5% of people are testing positive. What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? Now we can go better. Let's look at cases by county. So obviously the worst cases are in Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade. So let's just look at them for now. Let's look at Palm Beach first, because that's where I am. And, I should tell my wife that she should be terrified. But, oh boy, 225 cases in the entire county. Let me get my head out the way so you can see that. 225 cases in the entire county. You can even, if you want to, you can go ahead and break this down by zip code so you can see where the sick people are. I mean, there's so much data here. If you want to look at some of these other counties, like, let's look at Okeechobee County. And, what do you know? They've had 0 deaths ever. Ever. There are parts of this state that have had 0 deaths. Nobody talks about that. Nobody says anything. They just say Florida. In fact, when we look at what's going on Twitter, it's hashtag Florida coronavirus. Florida people don't know what they're doing. Florida coronavirus. Ron DeSantis, the entire state, he's an idiot. That's what people have to say. That's what they're talking about. They have no idea. Their agenda is not to make you guys feel comfortable. Their agenda is not, I'm trying to get comfortable here myself. Their agenda is not to make you feel like you can conduct business in a normal fashion. Their sole job is to disrupt and instill fear into everybody down here. I don't know what you want to do. I mean, you can look at the numbers yourself. You can go through this site. You can go county by county. You can see which ones have, the various infection rates and to see what's going on. But it's a lie. Excuse me. It's a complete lie. So you can choose to buy into it, or you can find the opportunity in this. And I want to focus on that word, opportunity. You see, I have the thought in my mind, which is where thoughts usually reside, that this is all a big scam. Yes, some people have died, unfortunately. But I think it's a scam to seize some opportunity that a lot of people aren't looking at. Now, this is going to sound crazy to you, but it's where I'm taking things with my developer hat on. This is my blue developer hat. I have another one for my real estate investment hat. And it's a joke. And I'm going to show you where the money is. If you see some of these areas burned down, and you see some of these areas infiltrated with scummy protesters, and they're tagging the buildings and all this kind of stuff, and they're pooping in the street, and they're just letting their excrement and waste just hang out in the gutter, and shooting up drugs, and letting the place get trashed, and breaking out windows, and burning up police departments. And they're doing it all in the name of, social justice. What is more justifying than money? You see, my dad, long time ago, I'd say in the early 70s, was in the National Guard, but he also happened to be a general contractor. And my dad made enough money to put all of us through college, and we didn't experience a lot of the crap that these people are talking about. And this is when racism was really racist. And one day he said to me, just watch what happens here. They're going to burn this stuff. This was in 1970. They're going to burn this stuff up, and we're going to get a new house. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, they're going to hire me to go in and clean these neighborhoods up. And every couple of years, they're going to have some sort of rioting or protest. This is 1970. And they'll hire me to come back in and renovate all the stuff that they broke up. And damn if it wasn't cyclical. In 1968, after Martin Luther King and Kennedy got shot, and they all rioted and burned stuff down, and my dad was on the front lines in the National Guard, a black man, and exact same thing you see on TV today. I mean, the exact same thing. People up in his face screaming at him, you're an Uncle Tom, and you're working for the man and everything. And he said the whole time that they would be doing that, The whole time Dad was hearing these people yell at him, he said the reason why he was able to stay calm, because when he knew when he took the uniform off and put the guns back and everything else, he was going to get a contract from the state to go and fix these apartments up, these commercial spaces. And damn if it didn't come out. Every couple of years, they'd go in, they'd wreck something. They would wreck something, and he would go in, get a big contract, redevelop the whole area, put it back together nicely, and they'd wreck it again. Everything you're seeing on TV, Atlanta, Seattle, Minneapolis, wherever they're having these riots on college campuses, somebody is going to get a contract to rebuild everything that these people did. Somebody is going to prosper. Many people are going to prosper because of the opportunity. Just remember that word. Because of the opportunity these knuckleheads are creating. You're saying they're doing the big transfer of wealth right now, and nobody really sees how that transfer of wealth is happening. It's happening under the covers. It's not in your face. It's not about socialism. It's about capitalism 101. You just don't see the roadmap because it's somebody seizing on an opportunity. So let me talk to you about opportunity. How many of you are familiar with what's called a opportunity zone? Opportunity zones are these pockets of I won't say residential, but of property in certain areas of states and counties throughout the United States where the government will give certain subsidies and tax credits for people who want to go in and do some investment and redevelopment or development. I'll put these in the show notes, but basically, when you see that word, trillions of dollars, that's not a little bit of money. Trillions of dollars has been set aside in tax savings for real estate investors and the prospect of lower investment costs for developers and builders. The catch is the investment and development must be in certain zones designated by the state as needing economic assistance. What areas of the county and states that you're in are those that probably need economic assistance? The ones that are getting rioted and burned? Yeah, that's the ones. Those are the ones. That's where the money is going. Yeah, in order to get rid of existing properties in the way, you can't evict everybody. You have to make them think it's not worth their while to be there. Burn it, move in, let the junkies move in, poop all over the street, do what you need to do. Make this stuff as undesirable as possible. So we can go to the government and say, we don't know what to do. We've got an opportunity here. We've got an opportunity zone that needs to be taken care of. So we're going to reallocate some of the money, some of that government cheese, specifically to opportunity zones. And look who it helps. The opportunity zone is investors can defer paying taxes on investment gains until either the sale date of the opportunity fund or December 31, 2026. And it goes on to say what the person's income has to be in order for the development to take place. This is the map just in Florida. And This is the map just in Florida. And everything in orange that you see is a designated opportunity zone. So I live down here in South Florida, and let me just zoom in. And wow, it looks like the entire area west of Lake Okeechobee is one big, giant opportunity zone. I'm going to have to look at that. Look at it. It stretches from Lake Okeechobee all the way over to Port Charlotte. But I'm interested right now down here. I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to zoom in, and I'm looking at big chunks of land. So let me look at one here. This one here is in Fort Lauderdale. Look at all that land. This is my stomping ground. This is where I made my money in real estate. And I didn't know about this. Didn't know about it. They're giving away money for people to go in and fix up these neighborhoods. They're just giving money away. I mean, this isn't even a really bad area. This area here that's, look here, it's north of Oakland Park, south of Prospect, west of Andrews. We're still talking there's $300,000-$400,000 houses in here. That's not a really bad area, but I'd love to get some of that government money and go in here and do some stuff. I like how they carved this area out. You know why? Because they already redeveloped that area. But basically from, if I look at this, Andrews Avenue all the way to Northwest State Road 447, all of this is available for government cheese. You starting to see this stuff? Now, we didn't get hit with the riots down here, but you're starting to see what the opportunity is? Are you starting to understand a little bit about how this money is going to be shifting? When you see Nike give $20 million to BLM or $50 million to XYZ thing, it's not costing them anything. They're getting it back one for one. In an opportunity zone, if you put in X amount of dollars, you get X amount back in tax credits. Pure and simple. You're not losing any money. Now, I can't for sure say that's where Nike's money went, but I'm beginning to see some under the cover type allocation of funds going to people who are doing just this type of redevelopment. So let me just show you something here. So you may think to yourself, well, I think Trump was going to get rid of the low income tax credit in Section 42. Well, he might have wanted to, but he actually doubled down. So in here, it says Trump's omnibus spending plan adopts two key provisions from the Affordable Housing Credit Improvement Act that will actually strengthen and expand low-income housing credits. Raise your hand if you knew that. Bet you didn't. Bet you didn't know that. It's amazing. And then it goes down here. Not only did he reapprove it, he raised it. He raised it 12.5%. The government raised it 12.5%. Hey, people, get some money. Get it. Find your opportunity zone. Because if you get an opportunity zone, you can present a plan. There's money out there coming out the wazoo because of these tax credits. And again, look at the number here. $1.3 trillion. 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 1,000 billion. $1 trillion. They're putting stuff aside. And one of the key things you have to know if you get into this is what Section 42 is all about. That's the big thing. Section 42 is where the money is transferred. It's how the wealth is being basically moved around without you even knowing it. Section 42 means if I get a development and I want to put up 50 houses and I want to basically either rent them or sell them to low-income people, well, financially that makes absolutely no sense. I can't sell a house, or I can't rent something to someone who can't afford it. The math doesn't work. I can't do anything about that. Well, Barry, how much are you going to be short? Well, it looks like this thing is going to be, $10 million short because, in order to make this happen and the monthly ROI and all this other stuff, the gross operating income, we're not going to make it because we can't afford to put $10 million into this project and only get, $7 million back. What are we doing? Oh, don't worry about it. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you right now $4, $5, $6 million in tax credits to make up that balance because you're going to be helping the poor people. What? Yeah, What? You're going to give me the money? Yeah, we're going to give you these tax credits, and then you can sell them to Nike. You could sell them to Publix. You can sell these credits to whoever needs them, and they get a tax credit, not a deduction, a credit for the money they help you with your development. You see what's happening there? You see it? You don't believe me? I'm telling you, look this stuff up. Find out where your opportunity zones are where you live. So here's something I want to show you. I know I'm getting close to my time, so I got to take a watch here. The Housing Credit Program, hope you can read this, is a public-private partnership. You get that? Public-private. I want you to key on certain words here. It annually brings about $12 billion in private investment capital to the development of affordable rental housing. Each year, the IRS allocates to each state based upon its population size. Developers may apply through a competitive process for projects that meet federal criteria for the threshold of income of the residents. If you're helping the poor people, we want to be in business with you. Okay, now, once the developers are awarded the credits by the state, you ready for this? I want to make sure you're ready. Once the developers are awarded the credits by the state, they generally sell them directly to an investor or syndicator who assembles a group of investors to purchase the credits. The investment dollars go into the project as equity that reduces the amount of debt a project has to repay, allowing it to have affordable rents. And you thought these 30 minutes that you were going to spend with me wasn't going to be worth a lot. Did you get that? You want to see that again? The investment dollars go into the affordable housing project as equity that reduces the amount of debt a project has to repay, allowing it to have affordable rents. Barry, these people can't afford $4,000 a month rents. There's no way we can do your development. Okay, if I charge them $1,000 a month rent, then I'm going to need, some sort of grease the palm here. Oh, no problem. We'll give you some tax credits. So go ahead and ask Nike and any other of these investors if they want to put up some cash, and they'll get a 1-for-1 tax credit. They get the tax credit. You get the cash to do your deal. People get cheap housing. It's all win-win. You see that transfer of wealth? Didn't even see it, did you? Now, who's taking advantage of this? Low-income tax credits and opportunity zones. Well, down here, I found a woman. She's very, very successful. Her name is Lisette Calderon. And she's just done her third development in this area, in Alapata, Miami. And what I started looking at was, what did she do? And let me blow this up because it's in the first paragraph. Like I said, this information's out there, but you got to know how to find it. So, let me just say this. I'm not intimating or saying that Miss Calderon or anyone else I talk about is doing anything wrong. I'm just showing you how things are shifting. I'm just showing you what's going on without you knowing it. Doesn't mean it's wrong, but there's money to be in the woke side of things if you know what you're doing. So let's look at what Lisette did. Lisette, who created a development company on her own, she bought 64,000 square foot site for $3.6 million on Friday in an all cash deal. Cash money. That's why I tell everybody, get out there, put out cash offers. If the deal makes sense, we're going to get you the money. But anyway, the site, located within an opportunity zone, will be the home of 14-story upscale apartment building that she expects to obtain the permits by late 2020. Whoa, Barry, what do you mean upscale? This is supposed to be for the poor people. No. What it said was that you had to use the funds to provide residence for a certain amount of poor people. below income people. But didn't say that you couldn't go upscale. Didn't say that, you couldn't make a beautiful place that had also some upper scale condos at the top, long as the bulk of the percentage of them were, for low income people. You see, down here in Florida, when you're selecting tenants and you're selecting people to move in, you sometimes can't tell with all the rappers and everybody else down here who's got money and who doesn't. And most people, especially these woke people, as you found out, don't care if there's a mix. They don't care if the guy living in a penthouse is driving a Bentley. Hey, their best friend rapper's driving a Bentley. If they're able to live on floors 1 through 7, and they're only paying $1,000 a month, they don't care if the guy up top is, got a penthouse, 20,000 square feet, drives a Bentley, has a private pool on a terrace. They don't care. That's where the money's being made. 14-story upscale apartment building that she found in an opportunity zone. That's another thing. These areas, like on the opportunity zone here, who do you think lives there now? I'm not going to say it, but you pretty much can guess. If there's a red box around it, you know who lives there now. So if you go in and put up a condo tower or apartment complex or village, who do you think is going to live there afterwards? Well, probably similar people. And from what we've seen lately in the street, young millennials don't care if they're in a mixed neighborhood. Everything has changed. Where white flight took place years ago and they left certain neighborhoods and didn't want to live amongst the rabble-rousers, these people find that of value. Imagine if, we've got a incubator space where, you can go in and shoot your videos, and you can also do your podcast, and, you can work from home. You've got workspace on the ground floor that's communal, and you've got, 200 units that are low income, and then you've got 100 of them which are market rate or above. Do you think they care if you're living amongst them? You saw the marches. They don't care. Let me continue here. So, I met a young man, and now I didn't meet him. I looked him up, and I found a guy who is in Atlanta, I think it is. And look at this. Brandon Rule, 31-year-old black developer. 31 years old. Out with the old money. New money's coming in. New money doesn't care. New money doesn't care about your history with the, investment club. New money's getting tax credits. 31-year-old black developer gets nodded for a $41 million project. Where do you think he built that? Yep, you got it. An opportunity zone. 31-year-old, still wet behind the ears, extremely knowledgeable. I've heard some of his videos, and he got $41 million to build a project. $41 million. You want to know how he did it? Section 42 tax credits. His videos are on YouTube. You can look it up. He's had a number of interviews. He sold Section 42 tax credits for his projects. Money has shifted. You don't even see it, and there's a tremendous amount of it available. And I'm going to go start looking at some opportunity zone property right away. I advise that you do the same. If you have any questions, go ahead and, how to reach me. Give me an email. Do what you need to, but do me a favor, and I'll just look at this thing one more time. Ignore the BS. Completely ignore what you hear, because if you're listening to the BS, if you're listening to everything that's going on Twitter or on the news, even down here in the Sun Sentinel, if you're listening to all that, it's designed to keep your eyes off of what's really going on. It's designed to make you not see the truth. You don't even know what kind of money is being drummed into an area. You don't even know that things are still going on. You don't even know that people are moving cash, transacting real estate, developing property, making millions, tens of millions. Because if you look at the news, it looks like we're in a handcuffed state and nothing's going on down here. I already showed you and you saw, okay? This woman here, where is she? Let me go back to it. I don't know if I deleted it or not. But anyway, I can't. Oh, here she is. She developed this property and is set to get her permits by late 2020 in an opportunity zone. And this is probably going to be, I mean, she bought it for 3.6. She's probably going to be a $30-40 million project at least. Money is flowing. Business is transacting. Real estate is flying. If you know how to do the deal, if you're structured correctly, if you know where to look. If you know how to structure a deal, there's no limit to the amount of funds available to you. So if you've got a property that you'd like me to look at, go ahead. Give me a call. Let's see, is my thing working here? Yeah, there you go. You know how to find me. I'm buying, and I'm also going to be developing, and guess where I'm going tomorrow? I'm going tomorrow to go look at some opportunity zones because I'm about to take care of some opportunity because that's what we're supposed to be doing. You know, we're all woke now. We're all woke. Don't believe the hype. Get out there, enjoy some opportunity, make some money. Talk to you guys tomorrow.